Four Bodhisattva vows. They're on the back of the Heart Sutra. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Desires are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. The Dharmas are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha's way is incomparable. I vow to attain it. Welcome. Make yourselves comfortable. Help yourself to some tea. My root teacher used to say that meditation was the best exercise. When I first sat with him, my legs would hurt like crazy. We would sit for 40 minutes. Often there was just the two of us in the zendo. I'd be afraid to move. And that was such a wonderful experience for me. Because we say that practice sitting meditation is getting to know ourselves. The first barrier to getting to know ourselves is ourselves. That which we believe to be ourselves. That which we've added to this experience. Say that Zen is before thought. So already you see, already you hear, before you say, I see, I hear. Zen before thought. And a good analogy would be like water. Doesn't matter whether it's a deep blue ocean, the rain, clouds, a dewdrop, it's all wetness. It's so wonderful when we sit and we learn that we're not our thoughts. And there's something else here. There's something beyond that transcends this idea of self. And as we get to understand and get to know ourselves by just coming to a still point, I mean, how fortunate we are to be able to just sit. Just sit. Do no thing for a little while. How does that help us in our lives? What are we learning? Well, each of us has to discover that for ourselves. But something is happening. Something happens when we sit down and we just watch our breath and we do no thing. It's so subtle and so profound. It's ultimate intimacy. There's nothing more intimate. When your mind is clear like space, that's total intimacy. A bird flying through space leaves no trace. Clouds come and go. Everything is always changing. If this happens, that happens. The other thing about sitting together is it's so supportive. We help each other just be here. And many of us have been sitting for a long time. Some of us are just getting started. But we're all beginners because every time you sit down, it's different. Something is happening that's different. And that's because we're always different, you see. At least from on the relative point of view. So we're all unique jewels, you could say, multifaceted. But we're all the same wetness. Just being expressed in these multifaceted jewels. So this one mind, this is what Buddha taught. So that's my little introduction to what it is we do. Nothing important. As soon as we make it important, we make it another, something other than what already is. The other thing we express often is we don't know. So as soon as you know, it's like an attachment. It's like grasping onto something and thinking, that's it. So being open, I mean, when you just look at our world, you know, being open, such a unique experience for many people. So wrapped up, caught in their drama and their deluded views, stuck in their what's called suffering, samsara. And we want to loosen that knot. We want to let the light in. And by doing that, we're not just helping ourselves, but all those that we come in contact with, that are in our circle, whether it's a big circle or a small circle, doesn't matter. Again, it's wetness. So, even when sitting is difficult and you struggle, your thoughts are driving you crazy, your monkey mind, you just keep coming back to it because there's a payoff. And it's indescribable. I like to say that the awakened heart mind, their ignorance, greed, and anger have no hold on it. But it's through that experience of ignorance, greed, and anger that we get to understand this is the root of enlightenment. This is where enlightenment takes place. In the midst of all this. So getting to know ourselves, understanding, what are we doing here? It would be nice if we could just gift it to everybody and everybody could become enlightened. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But you can't. So be grateful for the opportunity that is presented to you and take advantage of it. I don't know what to tell you. My life has been as fucked up as anybody's. Each one of us has our own struggles, our own fears, our own anxieties, our own situations that we have to deal with. It's possible. It's possible to go through this life as what's called a bodhisattva. Saving all sentient beings. yet not saving any. So I'd be interested to hear from you all. How was your sit today? Good?
It's interesting.
Interesting,
I
yeah.
was trying to let the thoughts pass.
Yeah,
It's hard.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're so attached to them as though that's who we are. It's really interesting when we stop identifying so strongly with them. Because then it's like, what else is there? And it teaches us so much about where we're at. You know, some of it's just idle, miscellaneous housekeeping chores. But some of it can actually something we need to touch on and embrace at least momentarily to understand, and then we can let it go. Because until we understand it, we can't really let it go. So it's useful. Just you don't try to stop them. You just kind of observe them. Be the observer. Yeah.
I like listening to Ajahn Sumedho a lot. Thai forest mission. He's old. He does the bullshit. He's kind of like you. And
It's wool? It's wool?
yes. And he often repeats himself. But I think from talk to talk, it's the theme doesn't really change much. But he's articulate, well read, so sometimes, it's like still interesting. So he can reframe things, but it's always the same thing. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he emphasizes is, like Ajahn Chah, it's like this, and it's like this. And Sumedho, he emphasized that this is not about getting rid of something. And that always strangely inspired me because, what does that mean? I can't get rid of things, whatever is problematic. Even some seemingly positive, elated things can be problematic, and very distracting, and and then maybe we want to be all humble and get rid of it. You can't. There's no point to trying to get rid of something, whether it's positive or painful. It's this process is sitting with it, and it's not going to bite you. It's not going to come after you. It's our own proliferating thoughts that run with it, and things become real. Anyway,
Yeah.
The contemplation is for me there are so many examples of painful things, whether done to us or us screwing something up or whatever it might be, that have their own after effects that kind of stay with us. We can suffer things 1,000 times. So I've really found a lot of comfort in being able to sit with those things and just let them be what they are and not intervene or try to make it go away. Not necessarily not to have emotions about it. I have emotions.
Yeah.
Those go away too.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I talked about intimacy, this is what you're expressing. To be intimate with it. It's not something that goes away.
Have a cup of tea.
Yeah. So I something that came up for my meditation this morning. My mother and I never had a very easy relationship. And it was very difficult for her because she was really, I think, attempting to be a strong woman to express emotion to me. I don't think hugs were something that we did. I'm a hugger, I'm very open. But she never was. So my relationship with her was kind of strained around that. So when she passed away a little over a year ago, what came up for me in my meditation was I was sitting with her by her bedside and holding her hand. And I just realized while I was sitting just now that was the most intimate moment, the most full, complete circle moment for us. It was the best. And I just realized it now. I experienced it then, but I just realized it now, sitting here. So that realization is something that comes with our practice. We have realization. That's not putting something away. It's not destroying it, taking it away. It's encompassing it in a way that is with compassion and wisdom. It comes from a different place than our usual way of putting things in categories and analyzing them and putting them here and there and all of that. So just being present, just this. So again, it's where that stop, that was it. Stop and experience. Stop making it into something. Life is rich. We just have to let it be that way. I think now we're approaching what Buddha referred to as nirvana. What else could it be? It's not going somewhere else. It's being with it just as it is. Thanks. Anything else?
Just watch it go in flow.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching the wind blow.
I have an appreciation for this aspect of realization, or I like to refer to it as insight and then inner sight, where that's already there as well. And there, for me, is a differentiation between thought and realization or insight. There's more of a feeling involved, and that's experiential as compared to just what we perceive to be thought. But it isn't without something connected to sight that often has a relationship with word or word inside of our mind that then relates to thought. But there is a way in which the observing of that, which is also passing through, finds its way into the spaciousness, different than monkey mind related thought,
Yes.
or thought patterns, or the train of thought that keeps going somewhere. And that for me is precious in meditations and coming into the inner space. I find things come full circle so quickly, or in that patterned way of knowing the unknowns and then not needing to know it because it shows up without asking the questions, the answer's already there, that it gives a lot of permissions to appreciate the things that are in motion as they're moving, so that even if in that small moment there is a little bit of a thinking connected to it, the beauty of allowing yourself to be with it rather than trying to push it away or say stop thinking, is these realizations or insights, the rush of the feeling that's connected with it that you know isn't in your mind.
Yes. So one of the things that I am really amazed by is intuition, because I think that's what you're describing. Because it's all of that, right? It's, to me, when I sit, I don't prepare talks, but sometimes when I sit, you could say they are thoughts. Are they thoughts or are they not thoughts? I'm not sure. The insight, it's just there. It's just, and it's like you say, it's really wonderful to allow, I don't differentiate between monkey mind and not monkey mind, because I don't need to. I mean, who cares, actually? It's, yeah. So my root teacher said one time about intuition, he said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, so another way of talking about it is, discovering it doesn't have to be this way, whatever this way is, whatever you're interpreting it as being. It doesn't have to be this way, which is that don't know again. It's that open up. And having that don't know is, I think, allowing what Serena was just beautifully describing, which I call intuition. Yeah.
Yeah, thoughts are weird. When this bathroom door opened earlier?
Yeah.
Opened up. It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't make any sense at all. Bathroom door opens. Like, oh, somebody's going to the bathroom. No, there's no point. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It might be kind of like the stick.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Strangely enough.
Well, that was me, so it's probably myself. That's the other thing about it, you come to a Zendo or you do any sort of practice and you have all these rules for yourself. What's acceptable behavior, what's not? Can I move? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I get up and go to the bathroom? I mean, all of it. And yeah, we do have systems that are in place. They're just expedient means. They're there to help us. But if they're not helping us, then do something else.
We were walking and I was scared. I was walking too fast. Like, why is that? Too slow. Silly.
Yeah, so the walking meditation is wonderful because it's a together action. It's another way of experiencing the one mind, as opposed to being all caught up in our own little space. So it's a good exercise for that.
Like with that, when I think of, because I felt the opposite, and it just kept reminding, now is not the time to worry about that. I'm not, when I'm behind somebody, I'm not thinking about they need to hurry up or they're going too slow. Like, I'm focused on where I'm at. So just reminding myself of that thought, it just allows me to not hurry up and get out of someone's way like I'm at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or all here with that purpose.
Yeah. So Well, I'm really glad you two could join me today, and please come back. Any other questions or thoughts today? So I do have an announcement. I just want to remind you all, please always check the calendar before you come by, just in case there's a change. Next Sunday and next Wednesday, I won't be here. There'll be no session. By the next Sunday, there should be. I'll be traveling, so hopefully I'll be back on Saturday. You know, as long as the creeks don't rise, I should be here. So, but, do check the calendar.